Today I'm going to talk about the wounded feminine aspect, which is when the individual or collective trend is to isolate instead of to connect, because the masculine energy cuts in half. We don't have to say it's like a warrior or a sword, but we could say that it kind of is like the penetrator. It makes two out of where there was a connection. And the feminine is always trying to put things together, circulate, unite, connect. So, sorry, not connect, bond, like bond things together. So, healing the wounded feminine individually and collectively means we have to look at first inside of ourselves what the feminine is holding, and that'll actually give us insights into what's going on in the collective, because the feminine is connected by nature. So by nature of itself, but also through nature. And so I had a wound, and I went to a emotional freedom workshop, and we do tapping together. And I'm going to share it. I'm going to be reading today mostly straight from, and usually I write little notes and I want to make sure I get it in. But today I'm going to be reading directly because it's very important that I don't miss anything from the stream of consciousness. But what was my initial reason for doing this is because there's been this thought in me many times that no man has ever truly wanted to make love to me. They were in it for pleasure, or, and it's this idea of the wounded masculine, but I wasn't looking at my wounded feminine. So I saw it as men wanting to humiliate me if I was proud and confident, like, she should know her place. And I saw it in everybody around me too. And on the other hand, I saw that if I had low self-esteem, and I had both sides of this, men wanted to take advantage if I was like too easy, too low standards. And then because I was vulnerable, they said, oh, well, it's her fault. She should know better. And it always hurts the woman in that situation. And I felt like, I can't remember why I thought it was worth it to be sexually with somebody who didn't really love me. It was like wanting to be desired, wanting to be the pleasure they desired. I thought it was me, but it wasn't. So feeling desired, feeling wanted, feeling chosen, even in my throat, I feel like, and that's why I just like released the energy. Even having actions done to me, to my throat, because I thought the person loved me. And isolating these parts of ourselves is a way that leads to madness. Madness is defined as anger or insanity. And isolation, according to this construct that I'm using, is to not be loved for who I am, or to not face the parts of me that need love so much and their story. So now I'm going to read to you what I learned. What did these emotions have to teach me? Desperateness about money for home and to maintain my relationships, because I was afraid of getting hurt and it being my fault and no one will be around to help me or take care of it. And my mother outsourced her fear when I hit my head when I was young, walking on the porch. Like, it was a balance beam. I fell inside, luckily, and I hit my head on a flower pot. I got so much fear instilled into me that instead of, understanding that I felt humiliated for going too far in my special abilities, in my balancing abilities, I got a trauma to never be irresponsible, never get hurt, and or be okay with being alone because I might get injured. So remember, I felt that the desperateness for home, maintaining relationships, was being delivered to me through fear around money. And this is where it's going. It's going into safety. Like, I need to be able to maintain that people will be around me. I have to make sure I have enough money so people could relate to me, so that they'll see me as valuable, because I mistake myself with the money. Appeasing someone, not putting two and two together, not making sense out of the investing and profiting, the negative and the conditional. It's inappropriate energy management by being divided and half-assing things, and then consuming short-term quick fixes with drama, control, indulgence. What I really needed was encouragement and reassurance that I'm worthy of being related to, even, if I fell from grace, even if I'm filthy or unable to respond or failing or making mistakes, going too far, showing off, being a fool. I didn't learn healthy ways to connect because others don't either always know the healthy ways to connect. They were struggling to feel that they mattered They were considered too. We all need verbal commitment of not being, given, and that, not being given up on, but also, so we need a verbal commitment that nobody's going to give up on us, that they're going to say, I'm still going to be there for you, but also that it is going to be okay. It's not like, oh, I'm going to be there for you because you're always like this, but rather this is what you're going through, and I'll stay with you during this time. I'll stand by you. And it's not so bad to make mistakes or fail, that reassurance. There's no one to convince that I can actually do a better job next time, that I should prove my credibility by being trusted, and that I'll get another chance. So not trying again, instead of, saying, I'll try again. I don't need to prove that I'm worthy of trying again. Anyway, there's no need to convince, because if I crave second chances to prove myself, and there's nothing about me so unworthy that I should be discarded or abandoned, then I keep trying to prove, commit to me. This is the emotional extreme of consciousness. I've been struggling to get commitment, and I want to let go of the push now, the striving, the draining, shrinking, and melting in sorrow for not being committed to, feeling nothing and no one would want to commit to me, including a job or I wrote job and I wrote client in such a hard way to see. So through this money idea, it really is that I'm afraid of not having reliable income so I could maintain my connections. And this is more of a deeper underlying truth, which I access because of the techniques of the emotional freedom tapping. So feeling nothing and no one would want to commit to me, including a job or a client. However, I'm really ready to be a leader, to receive the following who sees me mess up and continue. That is who I am. I'm worthy of a witness, of being a role model, a performer. I'm able to influence, and I can have it now. I've waited long enough to be understood, and I'm ready to be desirable and to connect to. I am ready to be desirable to, not to have what others desire. And so my dad was afraid to make mistakes that will be life or death. My mother was afraid by paying attention, she thought by paying attention, it's possible to avoid pain or death. They thought, if you pay attention, nothing undesirable will ever occur. So they blamed me when something happened, because it would reflect that they were not paying attention, or that my father had made a mistake. And I forgive myself for this false security at the expense of truth and kindness. So instead of the truth that I wasn't to blame, or the kindness of even if I was, it's okay, them trying to avoid being kind to themselves or honest with themselves is really weird. They taught me what they know, and it really is no one's fault that they were unable to relate the life inside, the self as being controlling as much as being controlled. My dad wanted me to avoid mistakes, consequences, and my mother wanted me to pay more attention. So, that's the best that they could do. And, in being controlling, they were afraid of being controlled. So letting go of energy agreements that have been having me commit to what isn't ever able to be secure. So the revealed always breaks down. The hidden is invisible, but it can be the most lasting and secure. So that inner space, which doesn't need any condition on the outside. And I'm ready to heal my relationship with life and what I can't control. It's all happening for the best. I need a reminder often that God is taking care of me and helping me, and I'm safe, like we all do. And from all this, I realized my parents' highest intention is really love and care. Really deeply, they chose to commit to me, and they need patience too, and permission. What they really needed was to be able to mess up and still be committed to and valuable, and that it's safe to do better next time and get another chance. Instead, they had to, never make a mistake or never stop paying attention. And this obsessive, controlling way is what they tried to help me with. So this is the story that a lot of us carry, actually, not just me. and that's why I'm sharing. And so I wish you, to face the isolation. It's otherwise it's gonna lead to madness and insanity, which is insanity and anger. And healing the wounded feminine individually will heal the wounded feminine collectively. Thank you.